I have no, and then therefore I will call the public hearings. The first case is 042, the Zvack case. That's a Milton Township case. There's a request for withdrawal, as I understand, so I'll permit that withdrawal request. And then now I will swear all the witnesses in who are going to give statements in any of these cases, petitioners and any other interested parties. Would you all raise your right hands and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes,
I do.
I do.
I do.
Mr. Casella, are we able to hear Casella now? Mr. Casella?
No, we still cannot.
Okay, you obviously can hear us because you raised your hand and I saw you mouth the words "I do," but can you go to your hearing notice and call in by telephone to the telephone number that's indicated, or otherwise figure out how to fix your system? I'm not going to call your case first. I'm first going to call the Mize petition. So put everybody else in the waiting room. Thank you.
One moment, please.
This is Z24058. We have a request for variation to reduce the corner side setback from the required 30 feet to approximately 12.08 feet for a one-story, three-car garage addition and interior renovation project. It's about a 0.56 acre property in Lyle Township. The property is serviced by well and septic. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on July 30, 2024, and I have no objections from building, DUDOT, no comments from health department, stormwater, no objections. Public Works says they're not involved. And then no other substantive comments from any of the authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. I have a survey, which is exhibit number 1, a site plan, which is exhibit number 2, of a narrative, which I'll take as exhibit number 3. No, well, I'll take it as exhibit number 4. I'm not sure I'm going to need a series of architectural drawings, but we'll determine that as the hearing proceeds. May I ask you, sir, to be sworn in?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this point shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, would you tell us who you are? Spell your name for us.
I'm Dan Roberts, Roberts, and I am with Roberts Design and Build, and I am the architect on the project.
Okay, and then we have Mr. Mize.
Yeah, Scott. Hi. Yes,
I noted that you were sworn in with the group earlier. Is that right, sir?
that is correct.
All right, who's presenting the case?
I can present the case.
Right ahead.
All right. So as you're aware, I'm going to use site plan between us. So working with Scott and Barbara Mize, their concern of the house, it's a multi-level home, a bi-level home. There's no family room on the main level. So we're trying to create a family room for the family, which requires some reconfiguration. One of the options is to go back, but his septic area is directly behind the house. So that's become our main hardship. And then we looked at going into the existing three-car garage and just rebuilding in the front. Now, we had to push it to keep access to the main entry, the foyer of the house. So we created a little courtyard there, and we're matching the existing setback. Now, I believe many years ago, it was not required to be a 30-foot corner side yard setback. So today we have a little bit of a hardship dealing with that. We don't feel this is implementing any poor views for anyone. We're dressing up the house and the character of the house, so I think the neighborhood would be happy. We are matching the 45-foot front yard setback, which actually is a 30, but we're staying with the existing 45. So that septic field became a big issue for us, and this has become an economical solution to now redesign the main level, create a family room and powder room on the main level, reconfigure the kitchen, and then the family becomes in that 2-car portion of the 3-car garage. So we don't see that this is affecting anyone in the neighborhood. There's plenty of space on the corner for a visual view there. And then we think it's an asset. So that's,
where is the nearest public sewer? If you know?
I do not know. We're septic right now. I do not know the answer to that. Scott, any chance you know?
Yeah, I can look up the distance here. It is at least 3 blocks east. And we're in an unincorporated zone, in the middle of an unincorporated zone. So we've got at least 3 blocks to the east and probably about the same to the south before we did any sort of public sewer.
So obviously.
Okay, I get it.
hundreds of thousands
Well,
of dollars.
you indicated that the location of the septic is part of your rationalization for the hardship, so I needed to get that detail.
Sure, if it was right here, that cleans it up, obviously.
Yeah, right. And then the existing building lines are also part of in order to have some architectural continuity, you're going to follow the existing buildings.
Yes, and the structure of the building, the separation at the courtyard, which keeps their front door area, allows us to work a gable that works across the gable here, which I could show you in architectural, I know, but I think that you're not as interested in that.
I want to keep it as clean as possible.
Yep.
And the architectural drawings of what you propose, I don't want to confuse the record in case you make a minor deviation to these.
Right.
I don't
Got
want there to be,
it.
oh no, you have to conform to what you proposed at the hearing.
And just to point out, if we were to go on the left side of the house, that's all bedrooms, so you have kitchen on one side and family room on the other. That obviously doesn't.
So there's no integrity to that.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, it's not my job to determine whether you are entitled to build the addition. My job is to determine if you do build an addition, are you conforming to the zoning standards? I'll say parenthetically, I'm always a little suspicious when an architect comes in because they talk about the drawings and they do not address the zoning concepts. You were perfect. You addressed the hardship.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Sure.
So I understand all that I need to understand, and there's only one person here that I don't know what JBOSC means.
John Bosco.
Okay, Mr. Bosco, I don't know whether you were sworn in because we don't have a visual of you. Do you intend to make a statement in connection with this case?
I do, and I did raise my hand. I apologize for the video not being on.
That's okay. Just tell us your name, spell your name, tell us where you live in relation to this property.
My name is John Bosco, Bosco. I am the Mies neighbor directly to the east.
Okay, and you've got a couple minutes here to make a statement, so what do you have to tell us?
Okay, won't take me that long. First of all, I just generally want to say that I think Mr. Roberts has done a fine job matching the existing building lines. I certainly agree that this addition would be a compliment to the neighborhood, consistent with the neighborhood. And in closing, they're a wonderful family, and I hope you grant their request. And we want to keep them happy in the neighborhood. We need more sensible additions like this one.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't think I have any control over whether they'll be happy in the neighborhood, but I do my best to add to that equation with my decision in this case. So thank you very much. I have what I need. I'm ready to close the.
Scott, do you have anything to add that I missed?
No, the one thing I'd add is we really value our neighborhood, the unincorporated nature of it. Really appreciate neighbors like John and others, our investment into this house is a sign of being there for the long haul, and we look forward to that.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mace. I'll close the hearing. And Z 24061, the Phillips petition. This is a request for conditional use to allow a small pier approximately 1 inch from the interior side property line due to the location of the lake. That's a publication that's tries to recite the hardship of in the statement. This is a 0.5 acre property in Downers Grove Township. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on July 30, 2024. And I have no objections or comments from any of the departments of the county or neighboring authorities to whom we've circulated the petition, with the exception of the stormwater department that just says they have no objections, but they will need additional information. And they have a footnote that says the location of the proposed pier is in special management areas, so additional stormwater certification information will be required at the time of application. That's not material to me, but it's by way of information to you folks. And then I have a survey, which is exhibit number 1, petitioners 1. I have a site plan, which is essentially the same survey with a little drawing indicating in yellow the location of the proposed pier. And then I have, I don't know what I have here. I'm not going to take this yet. I'll wait for testimony to determine whether that's a necessary exhibit. Now, with all of you who are going to testify or make statements, raise your hand and be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, can I have your names and spell your last name and tell us your address, sort of one at a time?
David Phillips, 721 81st Street.
Okay.
Keith Wilhoit, 8116 Fairmount, Downers Grove.
Your spelling, sir?
Wilhoit.
Okay. And how far are you from this property?
Adjacent.
Okay. Next.
Sandra Wilhoit, WILHOIT, 8116 Fairmount Avenue. Downers Grove.
All right, who's and then Ms. Sandy Phillips who is this? Who's Sandy?
My wife.
Yeah. Ms. Phillips, can you just, I don't know because I don't have a visual of you. Some people were sworn in prior to the hearing beginning in a group. Now I have the visual. Were you sworn in at the beginning? What is that?
Can you just,
She wants us to wait.
can you give a thumbs up if you were sworn in? Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, fix your audio, so if you want to make a statement, we'll bring you in at the right time. Mr. Phillips, you're presenting the case.
Yes.
Tell us how long you've lived at the property. I guess since 2015.
Yeah, purchased 2015.
All right. Who lives there with you?
My wife and 2 children.
And has there been a pier on this property before,
Yes,
to your knowledge?
since 2016.
Is this an existing pier?
It was recently moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, well, I don't care about the prior pier. I care about the one that you propose.
Yeah.
So go right ahead and tell me how do you make your case for conditional use?
Because we're at the end of the lake. So there's not much shoreline there. So that's why I'm asking for the 1 inch variance to put it close to the property line. So we can access the lake safely. The children. And also help with the maintenance of the lake.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah. Well, what about the conditional use standards? You have you prepare a narrative? I have a couple of narratives in a couple of cases today. Did you prepare one?
A narrative is
written statement of your case.
other than the what was published in there, just asking for the variance due to the contour of the lake. And I answered the 7 questions. I also have a petition.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
Let me see your, well, why don't you just read your 7?
Okay, impairment or.
But don't tell me, condition 1, I comply, condition 2, I comply, you know, give me a little.
Yeah, impair adequate supply of light and air to the adjacent property. Answer is no, the pier will not impair light or air to the adjacent property as it is ground level. Increase the hazard of fire or dangerous to said property. No, the pier is not close to any other structures that would increase fire hazard. Diminish the value of the land, buildings in the vicinity, proposed conditional use. No, the pier will not diminish the value of the land. It will add access and allow for continued maintenance of the lake. Unduly increased traffic congestion to the public streets and highways. No, it is not near any streets or highways. This is a residential property. Increased potential for flood damage to adjacent property. No, it is not displacing or diverting any flow of water. Incur additional public expense for fire protection, rescue, or relief. No, it will not cost the public any expenses. Otherwise impair the public health, safety, comfort, morals, general welfare of inhabitants of DuPage County. It will not impair the health or safety or morals, general welfare to the residents of the county.
And the pier is to be 9 feet 4 inches by 6 feet 10 inches exactly.
Roughly, yeah, close. Yeah, I'm gonna build it to that specification.
Well, if this is approved, it will be approved in accordance with the site plan, so it has to be, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, exact.
Yeah.
What's the pier to be made of?
Treated lumber and aluminum posts and aluminum cast framing. That's in the construction plans attached. If you want to allow them.
Well, I'll take them.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your exhibit number 3. It's a group exhibit. Let's go over this.
That's the approximate contour of the shore. And it gets real shallow there. That's why I have to extend it out in that area on the property line, within the property line. It's just close, you know, the 1-inch variance.
Okay, and then what's this tell me?
That shows you how the posts are going to be driven into the lake bed.
I'm not an expert on that.
No, that's for the building. That was for the building department. It shows all the material that's it's going to.
Oh, and these are various fittings.
Yes.
To construct the
Yeah,
pier.
yeah.
So it'll be a permanent pier. I mean, it won't be. Will it be removed in off seasons?
No, this will be it's called a stationary pier. It can be removed if you want to remove it, but it's meant to stay with the ice.
Yeah, I don't know much about piers,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
I know a bit about beers and piers, but that's another story.
That's just a photo representation of what it would look like. That type of style.
Okay. Anything that you want your wife to offer in this connection?
No, I would just offer one other piece from petition of neighbors
Okay, fine.
and it's notarized.
Well,
12 residents.
it's notarized, but the notary is a little peculiar. Because there are several signatures on here. So whose signature is being notarized?
All of them.
That ain't how a notary works. Okay, I've got a little. I'm gonna take this. Who circulated this petition?
I went to the residence.
Did you sign it here someplace?
I did not sign it. The notary signed it. But I circulated the petition. If I need to sign it, I can sign it.
Well, here's how a petition, customarily, this is how a petition works. The person that circulates the petition certifies at the bottom of the petition that all of the signatures that appear on the petition were signed in front of me, the circulator, and then that, and I swear and affirm. And then that person's signature is to be certified, I mean notarized. You can't retroactively notarize your signature if I were to insert that statement. Plus, this petition doesn't really tell me. Oh, it does. There's this comment section. I fully support, I support, I support.
Well, the
Right,
way the petition's written,
yeah.
it says
Okay.
you support him.
So let me take issue with the word petition because
Okay.
you missed some of the technical details that are required for a petition. Rules that we adopted years ago. I'm going to take this as a group letter to the zoning hearing officer, indicating that several neighbors are in support.
Okay.
I'm sure glad I solved that technical problem. All right, now, anything else from you before I turn to these people?
No.
All right, folks, do you want to make a statement in this case?
We do,
Okay,
and we would like to give you some information if we can.
sure.
I pass it out to you.
Start by telling us your name and you already spelled your name and gave me your address, so
I can start.
identify yourself
Okay,
before you start.
Sandra Wilhoit.
Okay, and are you speaking for you and your husband? All right, great.
And we've lived at our property for over 26 years. On our property for over 26 years. First, we have a couple questions, and I'm hoping that you can help me with that. This petition talks about a 1-inch setback. It doesn't state exactly where. We need to know that.
Well, it's 1 inch from the property line, and the property line is indicated on the survey.
Okay, there's two property lines though. Are we talking about the south property line? Are we talking about the west property line?
We're talking about this property line right here. It is the interior side property line.
I'm asking because I've talked to several surveyors and they said to them, it's either west or south. So we're asking you, what is the interior? Is it the south property line? Is it the west property
I don't know
line?
which direction here. It's north is up, so it would be the west. This is the interior side.
So it's the west
Yeah,
boundary line.
right.
Okay. So then our assumption is we're not asking for any change to be made to the south property line. And that would continue to have a 3-foot setback. Is that correct? Is that the intent here? He's shaking his head no.
I think the property line goes into the lake. So,
The west property line
no,
goes into the
south.
lake? Yeah, we are on the south. That's why we're asking. So
You're on the south. What is that?
Yeah. we border him with the south property line.
Oh, on the other side, because the lake, the configuration of the lake permits your, you have land that is on his south property.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're not discussing the south property line at all. We're only talking a 1 inch on the west side. That's important. That's why I'm asking.
I'm going to read this again. It's a small pier approximately 1 inch from the interior side property line due to the location of the lake. So the only thing that I'm considering is the interior side property line, which is the west.
West, okay. Which means that we would continue to have a 3-foot setback for the south property line.
Whatever is permitted.
Well, I mean, during the zoning, the docks are allowed to extend into the lake. So I can't have a 3-foot into the lake. I wouldn't touch the lake then.
So we are now talking about the south property line.
Not in terms of what I'm considering.
Okay. We have some information to share then. Also, there's no indication on here about where they would moor the boat. So we need that information also.
it's not, you can give that information, but it's not, I'm interested in a structure.
I understand.
So where you're gonna keep your boat that's up to you. You wanna comment on that?
Well, I store it in the water in the summer and out of the water in the winter.
Okay, all right. And then the other thing we wanted to mention is we had a survey done on Friday. It's not complete, so may we extend for submitting documentation
Yes.
and submit that survey? Okay.
Yeah, what is the story that your survey will tell?
The story that it will tell is the boundary lines that the Wilhoits have, and that this dock will be going over our land.
So you think there's an encroachment that
Yes.
exists now?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, if you have that issue, I'm not sure that that's material to me because I can't approve or disapprove an encroachment. But I customarily give time for additional materials to be submitted after the hearing closes today. And that submittal will be a part of the record as long as it is received by the time limit that we set. And is a week enough?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll set 1 week from today's date to submit that survey to our staff. Have you been in touch with the staff previously so you know how to get it to us?
Jessica,
Yeah, that's
Jessica?
this lady.
Yep, that's.
Oh,
Well,
And you'll have to give a copy to the petitioner as well.
okay.
I will say if their survey shows the current dock, which was moved, is not where the future dock is gonna be. So,
Well, if there's
yeah, so.
yeah.
it's not clear where the future dock's gonna be,
Well, yeah, it is, because it's right here on the site plan.
right bordering our property.
But he just mentioned it can go out 20 feet.
I say 20 feet.
What can go out 20 feet?
According to our bylaws, a dock can go out into the water up to 20 feet.
What, the bylaws are not, I can't do anything about the bylaws. I can approve this or not approve this.
Okay, all right. Thank you for helping to get that information. I appreciate it. We would like to go a little bit back in history, and that is that a dock was built by the Phillips on our land. So we're talking about a previous one. We went to the county because we wanted to get them off of our land. They sent out a code enforcer, and Greg said the dock was 95% on our property. And that's why you're seeing us here today.
Okay.
So we were issued a demolition permit. We were not allowed to exercise that because the Phillips would not remove their boat that is attached to the dock that still exists there right now. At one point, the Phillips pivoted their dock 3 feet. And then we called the county the next working day, and they came out and issued the Phillips a violation. You'd have to ask them what the violation was for. I'm assuming because they did not have a permit to move it, and they still moved it on our property. Okay.
Okay, I understand this, and I know there's been some difficulties in the past. It is my practice in all respects not to consider whether things were built with permits or without permits. I have sometimes referred to it as a greenfield issue. So if somebody comes in and says, I built my garage in the wrong place without a permit, I don't punish them for not having a permit. I evaluate whether the garage should exist in the footprint that is being requested. So it would be inappropriate and probably illegal for me to render an opinion based on past compliance issues. I really have to take this as, again, like a greenfield or a brand new petition.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So I appreciate that. So we would like to share with you why we are opposed to having this dock, a permit granted for this dock. Number one, on 8/6/24, I talked to the Downers Grove Assessor's Office, and they validated that we own the bottomlands that are directly in front of Phillips' property. If they moor their boat next to the proposed pier or dock, they'll be trespassing and mooring over our bottomlands. They will create a legal hardship for the Wilhoits. In addition, if they moor their boat over the bottomlands, they're setting up a property for a future easement by prescription, something that we're not interested in having an easement. It's also our understanding that if you're going to sell your property and you have an easement or a potential easement, you eliminate potential buyers. We're also opposed to it because the Phillips boat is approximately 10 feet by 6 feet. And if they continue to moor their boat in front of our waterland or waterfront property and over our bottomlands, they're depriving us of our riparian rights. We're also opposed to it because a 1-inch setback, well, actually, I will take that back. The other reason is, and I included the photographs, Wards Creek runs through our property right next to the boundary, the southern boundary line that we were talking about. There's also a weir that runs parallel to the Phillips southern boundary line. We've lived in that property for 26 years and we've witnessed flooding in that area. We've provided photographs of the flooding that has occurred over the years. If Phillips is allowed to build this dock, then we're concerned about potential flooding that could occur. We're opposed to building more structures across that back that could have an impact on this property that has a history of flooding. And if you look at on the photograph that we've given you, there's a white fence. We've actually witnessed the flooding going past the white fence further and deeper into the Phillips yard. And those are all the comments I have to make. Thank you for giving me the time.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take this as the Wilhoit exhibit number 1, an objection. I'm ready for concluding remarks. I just want to caution the petitioner makes the closing statement and can answer or not answer your remarks as he sees fit, but I don't get to go back to you, okay? I may there's something critical that has to be added, well, we'll see. Yeah, I thought she was speaking for you, sir, so I didn't call on you, but go right ahead.
Okay, it's still not clear where this proposed pier is. It appears that it's right against our south, or his south line and our north property line. So he's right against it, within an inch.
Did you see this? Yeah, you must have seen it because it's
have.
part of your exhibit.
Yeah, and it looks like it's right next to our property, within an inch of our property.
Well, it looks like it's on the lake to me.
Well,
That's
a
what
9-foot line goes past the lake into our property. And our property is on the lake too. We own the property under the lake.
Okay,
on that border.
I suppose that would be resolved by the survey that you want to submit. Yeah. All right, Mr. Phillips, any concluding statements?
The only concluding statement is probably we bought our house because wanted to live in Bruce Lake, raise our children in a very unique neighborhood. We bought the property because it does have lake access, and we are been challenged repeatedly on gaining that access, which is duly ours under riparian rights. And so I just asked for this hardship of that 1-inch easement or 1-inch variance of the dock. And of course I would comply with any storm flooding requirements. This dock was in place before it was moved per the Will Hoyt's request. And it went through 2 100-year floods, completely submerged. It is not a risk. It's not displacing water. That's why the construction plans are as they are.
Okay, you made several references to hardship. Hardship is a standard that needs to be demonstrated, either a hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty. In a request for a variation, it is not a consideration in a conditional use request. And you have published for a conditional use request.
Okay.
Conditional uses have time limits, so if this is approved, there will be a time limit. So that's all I have to say.
What type of time limit, sorry?
A number of years that the let's say that this is approved, that the approval will expire at a certain point in time, and then you have to either rely on a new ordinance that makes this a matter of right, or you have to come back and repeat this process.
All right, Brandon. I'm also I will support the HOA on this also. So.
Well, I've given the Wilhoits a week for submittal of their additional information. I don't, when an HOA makes a statement in support or in opposition, I request that the HOA submit a letterhead statement indicating their position. I don't insist on, in fact, I was drafting corporate resolutions this morning in great formality, but I don't insist on a formal resolution, just a letter indicating their position. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, folks. I'll close the hearing. D-24-060, the Casella petition. My name is Robert Carthel. I'm the zoning hearing officer, and these are members of the staff. We have a request for a variation to reduce the required lot size area for 3 new lots serviced with well and septic from the required 40,000 square feet to approximately 10,203 for lot 1, 10,879 for lot 2, 11,172 for lot 3A. Secondly, a request for variation to reduce the required lot width from 2 new interior lots serviced with well and septic from required 125 feet to approximately 90 feet for lot 1, 100 feet for lot 2, and 100 feet for lot 2. I don't know about lot.
Yeah.
Variation to reduce the required lot width for a new corner lot service with well and septic from 150 feet to approximately 108.79 feet for lot 3A. The petitioner is Barbara Costella. Matters in Lyle Township. We have a 0.73 acre site serviced by well and septic. The matter was published on the Daily Herald on June 30, 2024. I have no objections. Health Department and Stormwater require additional information, and the Stormwater Department has sent some documentation. None of the villages have commented. I have survey, which I'll try to find a date someplace. Oh, April of 2024. Thanks. It's the one that's underlined. April of 2024, petitioner is exhibit number 1, a survey, the site plan showing the 3 lots, and then some sketch of the house. His petitioner is exhibit number 2. I don't know what the rest of this stuff is, and I'll let Mr. Casella refer to it as necessary during the course of the hearing, but it will not be admitted unless it is referred to during the course of the hearing. Just copies. All right, survey is there's duplicate surveys and site plans here, but I do have a couple of other documents that should be referred to. Let me try to clean that up a little bit so that we're not confused during the hearing. I have a warranty deed, the value of which is unknown to me. So we'll ask for information about that. And then some narrative about the, I don't know what this is. And then what is this? Just another site plan? Oops. Duplicates of site plan and survey are indicated, so I'll take those. And then I have the Gill subdivision preliminary and final information from the Arboretum, all of which needs to be referred to before I admit it as exhibits from the petitioner. So let's have everybody sworn in as the first item of business.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'll indicate that everybody in the room was sworn in, and I think the people online were sworn in earlier. I'm not going to take your names now. When you make your statement, you can give me your name at that time. And when you give me your name, you have to spell it, tell me your address, tell me where you live in relation to the property. The rules of the road are that speakers are entitled to 3 minutes to make their statement. That's not applicable to the petitioner. The petitioner has whatever time it takes to make the case, but comments from neighbors and interested parties are limited to 3 minutes. I don't take duplicate information, so if everybody says the same thing, all you have to do is say, I heard the statement of the person prior to me, and I agree with that statement. And you only get to speak once, so it's not a dialogue. I don't come back to you, okay? Now with that, Mr. Casella, where are you?
Upright. He's on.
All right.
Here.
You're on, sir. Make your case.
Yeah, we would like to subdivide this land into 3 lots of current houses on septic and well, and we really like to.
You're gonna have to speak.
Hello?
Can you speak up and speak a little more clearly, because the fact that you're
Okay. So the lot is huge. You hear me?
yeah, I hear you, but
Hello?
slowly and loudly, okay?
All right. So the current lot is huge. It's 300 feet long. So there is a existing house in the corner, and we would like to keep this one. It's on septic and well, and septic is located behind the house. All the septic, so everything is working fine. And there is another 200 feet, and we would like to subdivide into smaller lots, you know, and water is just by the street. Will be no problem to hook up to the city water, but it's far away. There is sewer is just very, very long distance from this house. Is 2 blocks away. So we would like to install a mechanical septic system, which requires only 650 square feet. So in this case, you know, everything could work fine, you know, for us, you know, for you, because, you know, newer septic systems doesn't require such a big field, only 650 square feet, and each lot will be hooked up to the city water. I think it's yeah.
That's it.
I think that's it. You know? And the house we're planning to build a couple houses, like 1,700 square feet each house, 3 bedrooms, and a mechanical system is big enough for 2 to 4 bedrooms on each property. Mechanical septic requires 650, so it will be big enough for house between 2 and 4 bedrooms. Okay, and yeah, we're talking about not huge houses, 1,700 ranch houses, two of them on each property. Separate entry will be now current house is sitting on addresses on Essex Road, but the entry is from the Collie Road. So those two houses will have entry also from Collie Road, and the third one from the Essex Road or Collie Road. There's easy access from both streets. Okay. That's all I want to say about this new program, new subdivision.
So
Well, Mr. Granat is representing us, so
who's
let him
representing
talk
you?
for us.
Is somebody representing this man?
Yeah, Mr. Granat.
Who?
Our surveyor. Granat. Steve Granat.
Hey, Mr. Granoff, you represent this gentleman?
We performed a survey on the property about a month ago. The property had previously been surveyed by Pi in surveying when he purchased the property, from what I understand. They provided me with a copy of that survey. Because I've done work for Mr. Casella in the past, I gather he was comfortable having me pick up the project. And we had gone back out there, did a GPS location of the corners and of that property and some adjoinders, and we're in close agreement with the Pi survey with some minor differences, and calculated the property as having 32,311 square feet complete as it stands on the ground. And Mr. Casella asked us to divide the property either in three, having the building located and trying to locate the building on the east end of the property on its own lot, and then creating two new lots that would be vacant now, no buildings on them, and that would be buildable for the future. And that's what this endeavor is about, is to try to divide it, and if failing three, then perhaps a two lot division.
I don't do
Kill. What's that?
You're asking for three. I'm considering three. I'm not going to do. Well, would you take 2.5? I haven't heard much about the zoning standards for variation. I heard an explanation of what you want, which is not really much of no real additional information based on the couple of sentences I read about your request. Well, how long have you lived at the property, sir?
Me?
You live there?
Right now? No, not yet. Not yet. We're moving in soon.
Who lives? But there's a house.
Nobody lives.
Yeah.
Is the house vacant?
For the last 4 years.
Yeah. Right now, yes. Yes, it's vacant. Yes.
And so, how long have you been the owner?
We purchased this house a few months ago, exactly on a month. So we decided to.
Oh, okay. I asked how long, and your answer is a few months.
Yes.
You have about roughly a 3/4 acre lot. Is that right?
Yes.
It looks to me like the other lots up and down the street are also approximately 3/4 acre. Is that right?
Yes.
And you propose to have 3 lots of approximately a 1/4 acre each?
Yes, that's correct.
Are there any other 1/4 acre lots up and down the street?
I don't know. I didn't check.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add before I take comments from the people in the room here?
Say again. Can you repeat, please?
Do you have anything else to add before I go to comments from the neighbors? I presume they're neighbors.
No, that's it. That's all I want to.
All right, I'll take these comments and then I'll come back to you for a closing statement, sir.
Okay.
Okay, folks, who'd like to be first? Is there anybody that represents the group?
Well,
No.
Scott, let
No?
me do and then you. I'm the
All right.
longest, I've been almost 50, Jerry Lockhart, 5517 Kingston.
All right, everybody gets like up to 3 minutes.
I've lived there almost 50 years, I'm gonna be short. I've always had water problems because of the other subdivisions come down on me, and I'm right across the street from them. But my biggest problem is, those lots aren't big enough for septic, and those houses are gonna really ruin the flavor of the neighborhood. We all moved there to live on a certain size lot, and I don't wanna live in a little stubby little thing like that. That's all I've gotta say, thank you.
Thank you. Who'd like to be next? Sir?
My name's Scott. I'm Kingston. I can see this house.
What's your last name?
Weibert, Weibert.
Your address?
5512 Kingston.
Okay. And you support or oppose the petition?
I oppose it. I've been here over 43 years. I think I speak for all the people here.
No, you don't
Okay,
really speak
all
for
right.
people.
I bought this house because it's more rural, larger lots, quieter, what have you. I'm concerned about these lots being subdivided for the aquifer, the well that we depend on for water, instead of three houses, in one house, three house drawn out the well, the septic. You need 600 lineal feet of field on a 10,000. There's not even room for a house on there.
Let me say, with respect to septic, we've had many cases which when granted require modern updated septic systems that can fit. That's not my province, that's the building and health department, if it gets there.
Okay, just a few other comments and then I'm concerned about these lots being divided and the value of our real estate. And this lot isn't dividable into two lots, not three. It's not even you need 20,000 for a septic field, according the last time I read
okay. And
anyhow, I thank you for your time, and respectfully, I hope you do the right thing, because this is insanity.
Okay, you indicate that you've lived in the neighborhood for a long, like 43 years.
Yes.
I asked a question earlier about whether there are any other quarter-acre lots up and down. Let me get the question done.
Sorry.
Up and down the street in this immediate area, just so the record is clear, do you know of any other quarter-acre lots?
No.
Okay, thank you. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. My name is Richard Wayne. My property is at 551 5 Road. I am directly to the north of the proposed property, LEIN. I have strong concerns, especially regarding the stormwater and the septic water running off. I currently am still experiencing water issues in my basement. There are field tiles, as I understand, that run through that whole area because it used to be a farm. And I believe there's a broken tile somewhere between my property and the neighbor to the north that is broken and causing water issues. My concern with putting three houses on that one particular lot is I'm going to have stormwater because the topography it swales from his property down to my property, and my neighbor from the north swales onto me. So there would have to be some surveying done to make sure that the groundwater can be dealt with appropriately and not continue to flood my property. We experience a lot of when it rains heavy, lots of saturation on the ground, so that water has no place to go. I don't believe there's a ditch that runs along Coley Road going to the west, and if it does, it would have to go north on Essex right in front of my property. There's no ditch line for that. Okay. So the water issues are a huge concern for me.
All right, thank you, sir. You, sir? Name and address.
Michael Betcher, 5601 Essex Road, corner lot directly across from this parcel.
And again, spell your name.
Boettcher.
A support or oppose?
Opposed. And the reasoning, my personal reasons are for, as was aforementioned, that this area is larger size lots, homes, semi-estate size lots. And we'd like to keep, I prefer to keep the size of the lots reasonably, at least minimum half acre. If any of the lots are subdivided, that would only give 2 homes per lot.
If you have a 3/4 acre lot and you want to have a minimum of a half acre, there isn't much opportunity to sell it.
Correct.
Okay, next.
Yeah, my name is Pat Clancy, Clancy. I live at 5608 Essex Road. And I'm opposed to dividing it into 2 lots. A division into 2 would be acceptable to me because it would be more in character with the neighborhood. I don't want to see three small little houses on that lot. And my son, who couldn't be here today because you're having it in the middle of the afternoon when he's at work, he owns the house next door to me at 5606. And just to let you know, his name is Kevin Moran. He rents that house out and he's also opposed.
Okay. I'm permitted to take, it's sort of for the value that it brings, I'm permitted to take these hearsay type comments. In other words, you telling us what your son feels.
Well, he would have been here if he could.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He could have patched in by phone. We try to make it as convenient as
He's at
possible.
work, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I hope you don't feel that he is somehow unrepresented because there's a lot of folks here.
I understand. It's fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention it because
Let me also add this. If he will, I will keep the record open for him to send us a letter stating his position.
that's good.
Or if he can do that within 1 week, it'll be part of this hearing record. Okay?
Sure.
Next, sir.
My name is Kevin Maley, last name Maley, M-A-L-E-Y. I live at 4731 St. Joseph Creek Condos. And I'm in the process now of buying, hopefully buying a house on Coley Road. That address is 1011 Coley Road. I'm concerned, however, about traffic up and down Coley Road Street. There's a dentist office there.
Is that related to this request?
Yes.
Okay, explain how.
I just think that building those homes there, I think it's going to increase the traffic coming right off of 53.
Okay. I'll have a look at that.
Again, with the dentist office there, and it's quite a lot. So this would greatly increase it. So I'd have to say I'd be opposed to that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next lady. Nothing?
That's my wife.
You, sir, it is? Yeah. You agree with him? Well, then tell me so.
Yes.
Want it on the record. Okay.
Yes.
No, that's fine.
Is that the one time you agree with him?
And then this gentleman.
Yeah, Ken Daly, D-A-L-Y. Live at 5517 Lennox. I also own the back property at 5516 Essex, which is almost kitty corner to the requested site that wants 3 houses. Mainly, being in that property for 57 years. The water problem, there's a creek that runs through our backyards that feeds off of Kingston, Essex, and comes down to my backyard. And it probably runs in a good rainstorm, 6 feet, 5 feet deep. Which 4 houses on these properties right now shedding water. You're not gonna have the lots soak up the water, so
So
water should be a big problem.
you oppose again for the
Oh, I'm
reason.
sorry, yeah, I do oppose, yes.
Okay, thank you
All right.
very much.
Go around the neighborhood, every corner lot, in that whole section, I've been there for 60 years. There's never been 3 houses on a corner lot. In fact, down on Smith Road and Lenox, they tried to get 3 houses there. And it was turned down by the county, it was also turned down by Lyle.
Correct.
So
Okay.
let's be sure that this is very denser than what we would like. We got big lots. I think we live in a nice neighborhood. There's some beautiful neighbors around there. We don't need this.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the people on the, who have called in or are zooming in. If any of you want to make a statement, I'd like to hear from Mr. Roke.
Yeah.
Is it Roke?
Roke,
Do
yes.
you care to make a statement, sir?
Sure. My name is Chris Roke. I live at 5510 Kingston Avenue. Been there for about 13 years. About 13 years now. My concern is with the density increase. As others have mentioned, you know, the water table could be affected too, but if they're pulling off a city water, that's not applicable. But that's not what the zoning variance calls for. It calls for well and septic. Sounds like you've made mention that the septic wouldn't could potentially fit, but my concern is primarily the density increase, and I'm not in favor of that. I'm opposed.
Thank you, sir. Can I skip over to, is it Mrs. Roke? Are you
Megan?
gonna make a statement?
Yeah, my name is Dr. Megan Rose. I'm at 5510 Kingston. Like my husband said, we've been there for about 13 years. We have 3 small kids. We bought this home for the aesthetic. 3/4 of lots does not fit the aesthetic for neighborhood. So I'm opposed to and that's what I'm going to say. So thank you for your time.
Mrs. Roke, you were a little difficult for me to hear. I don't know if our recording device picked you up. Just to be clear, do you oppose this petition?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you substantially agree with the comments of your husband and the other speakers who I presume you have heard and who spoke before you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now for Barbara, do you want to make a statement? I guess not. Oh, it is. All right, how about Marcus?
Yes, my name is Marcus Lumaye, Lumaye. I live at 50.
Were you sworn in, sir?
Yes, yep.
Okay, address?
I live at 5508 Kingston. Been there for about 5 years. I share the concerns about the density increase and the stormwater runoff. And if there are wells that are pushed in, the increased draw from the aquifer. And I support the comments that everyone else made.
All right, thank you, sir. And now the other Marcus. Oh, wait, you guys are flopping around here on my screen. Mr. Duncansworth.
Yes, Duncan Cop Richardson. I'm at 5611 Lennox. I share the same concerns as Marcus, Jerry, and other people in the opposition.
Thank you, sir. And now for Renee Reese. Okay, who's next? Reese, okay.
Yes, I can go. Reese Langerock. I live at 5602 Kingston Avenue. I've been here for about 2.5 years, so I echo everything everyone has said, oppose it. The main reason we chose this area is, you know, the size of the lots, like having extra space and being right next to like a bunch of condensed houses is not something that we were like signed up for when we purchased this.
One more, Bob.
No, that's the caller. He's on the phone.
Oh, he's the double header. All right, I think there are no other comments to be offered by neighbors. So, Mr. Casella, I'll give you a minute or two for final statements. You can answer any questions or make a summary statement.
That's it. Thank you.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That's it? You're just saying thank you as your closing?
Oh, I would like to say, then the houses are, right now we would like to just, subdivide, leave the house, existing house where it is, and it's on, not with the septic behind, and the well system. And the rest of it will be 200 feet. I'm not talking about the huge, houses in the future. I don't know what my children are gonna do. You want to move in or not? But it's a nice lot, like everybody says, But I'm not talking about a 3,000 square feet house, just ranch with 3 bedrooms. That's it, So. The future. It's not gonna be a lot more traffic. Just my family. That's it. So I don't know what you guys think, but it's a nice area, quiet. That's why we purchased this house, and it's not gonna be more traffic. It's like your family is visiting you for parties and stuff like that. So I have family too. I have children and like to keep them close to me, So it's not for business. It's not for, condos, units, or apartments. It's just for family. All right.
Right.
That's what I want to say. So.
No reference was made to the 3 exhibits that I indicated I needed some information about, but just to be cautious, I'm going to take these exhibits and review the exhibits. They will be part of the record. They are the warranty deed, exhibit number 3, the Gills subdivision preliminary final something or other, which will be exhibit 4, and then what appears to be a narrative comprised of a couple of pages and a photograph, which I'll take as group exhibit 5. And with that, I'll close the hearing. The decision will come within the next, did I permit? Oh, yes, I permitted
Kevin,
an additional week for a letter.
Okay.
So the decision will come approximately 2 weeks after the expiration of that 1 week period. So in other words, 3 weeks. And then my decision is essentially a recommendation. Whoever's phone that is in big trouble. Sorry. Where am I? My decision is a recommendation to the County Development Committee, and then they'll take up the matter at a meeting and render a final determination, presumably by mid to late September.
Will that meeting be public?
The Development Committee meeting is public. And so is the county board hearing, so as it goes up the chain. I'm not as clear about their rules. I think you can write them.
Will they be required to post a sign on the property that this is going through?
No, there are no signs. The county rules are different than a lot of the villages. But you can stay in touch with the staff and you'll get the email.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go off the record and close the hearing. We're back on the record. I'll indicate that the hearings are concluded. There's various zoning hearings are concluded. There's no old business, no new business. And the final item on the agenda is adjourn, and we are so adjourned.